In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 Yoruba words that have the same letters but sound different and mean different. It's going to be fun, it's going to be exciting, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Oyato, Oyato. So, what comes to mind when you see these letters? Depending on how it is written, if it is written this way, it is pronounced. I can tell you that what is on my mind is completely different from what is on yours. It is pronounced Yara, 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 Mi, Re. Again, because this is the tonal marks on these letters, and so it is pronounced Yara as in Mire, and Yara means hurry, to hurry. So don't be sluggish about this. Hurry, get going, hurry now, Yara, Yara, So that's what that means. An example of this would be Losodo Yarisi, Yara, Yara, Shekia. So by the way, another word for Yara, a synonym of Yara would be Shekia, which also means like do it fast. So hurry, right? So those are what it means. Yara, hurry. Shekia as a synonym, do it fast. Right, so Yara losi odo yarisi. So hurry and go to Risi's mother. Hurry, Yara losi odo yarisi. And when it is so, whenever you see this, it is Yara mire, which means hurry. Do it fast, do it quick, be quick about it. Don't be sluggish. And when it is written this way, this you may be very familiar with. It is pronounced Yara, do mi, Yara, Yara. And that's because there's the do tonal mark on the first syllable, Ya, and mi sound on the second syllable, mi, ra, Yara. That is room. Do you have a Yara? I am recording this video in a Yara, in a room, right? And if we were to use this in a sentence, an example would be Mi fẹ́ kó wá sí yàrá mi. Mi fẹ́ kó wá sínú yàrá mi. I don't want you coming inside my room. Mi ò fẹ́ kí o wá sínú yàrá mi. I don't want you coming inside my room. So that's a way that you can set boundaries. So that's setting boundaries and telling someone you don't want them to do a thing. And by the way, speaking of mi ò fẹ́ and setting boundaries, the Yoruba Show, which is going to be up soon, you can find it here, is all about setting boundaries, how to express yourself, setting boundaries in the Yoruba language. So be sure to check that out. Back to Oyato, right? So, mi ò fẹ́ kó wá sínú yàrá mi. I don't want you coming into my room. And if we were to use both of them in a sentence, you could have an example like, Yara lọ sínú yàrá. There's hurry and get into my room. So now I want you to come into my room. So, Yara lọ sí yàrá. Yara, mire, remi, domi, Yara lo si Yara. So by the way, it's kind of tonal. Yoruba is a tonal language, so you know that by now. So mire, remi, domi, Yara lo si Yara. So hurry and get into my room. So you see that these words only have the same letters, but they sound different and they mean different. Let's move to the next word. And the next word, what comes to your mind when you see these 2-letter words? Well, depending on how it is written, if it is written this way, it is pronounced ku, do, ku, ku. Ku means what is left. What is left? Ku. If we were to use that in a sentence, we could say mélòó ló kù. That is, how many is left? Mélòó ló kù. And you could be asking about anything really low. For instance, aṣọ mélòó ló kù. How many clothes is left? Bàtà mélòó ló kù. How many shoes are left? Yàrá mélòó ló kù. How many rooms are left? So, ku, with the do sound, it is with the do sound. Not do, as in do, re, mi, no. Do, right? The Yoruba do. So if it sounds that way, it is pronounced ku, which means left. So how many is left? So, ìṣẹ́jú mélòó ló kù. Ìṣẹ́jú means seconds. Ọ̀sẹ̀ mélòó ló kù? How many weeks are left? And by the way, we talked about ọ̀sẹ̀ in previous episode, I believe, so be sure to check that out. Right. And if it is written this way, now it's a more sadder word because it is pronounced ku, mi, ku. It's a mi tone, ku, and that means that something is dead, something has died. It means die. So we can say Aja risi ku lano. Reese's dog died yesterday. That's not very pleasant news, but that is an example of the word in a sentence. Aja risi ku lano. Right. And so if we were to use both words in a sentence, then it will sound something like this. Mélòó ló kù? Gbogbo wọn kú. Like, how many is left? They're all dead? Right. So, mélòó ló kù? Gbogbo wọn kú. So you're asking, maybe something has happened, something has been destroyed, and you're asking, okay, fine. So tell me now, how many is left? Mélòó ló kù? And maybe they're telling you, none. And you're like, gbogbo wọn kú? They all died? So you could say it could be anything really, like how many of the animals are left, and you're like, oh, they all died. Right, so that is what that means. Now you know. The last one that we'll be looking at in today's video is this one. So what comes to mind when you see these? If it is written this way, it is pronounced Oga, do me, Oga. Oga means boss, like your superior, the boss, Oga. And if we were to use that in a sentence, I'm sure that you've heard that many times. I mean, it's a common Yoruba phrase that I think that if we're making a Yoruba dictionary, I think that the word has almost been anglicized, you know. I think the word has kind of been imported into English. So you hear it, Oga, you know. It's interesting because I remember the first time that I started working at a law firm. A colleague at the time would always refer to the boss as, or the principal, as we call it in law, as Oga. And she was not even Yoruba, right? So the word Oga is so popular that even she was not Yoruba, but she would always refer to the boss as Oga, Oga, Oga. And I'm like, oh my God, interesting. It took me a while to get used to that because, you know, it was a formal setting, but she was happy to call him Oga, you know. Anyway, that's by the way. So Oga means boss. So somebody who is superior to you, Oga. Are you an Oga? And do you call your boss Oga, like my colleague? But then if it is written this way, it means something completely different. What it means if it is written this way is Oga, Dodo, Oga. Oga, it's an animal. It means a chameleon, and it can also be called an alagemo just because it changes its form, right? But for the purposes of this video, we're sticking to Oga, which is Dodo. Have you ever seen a chameleon? So if we were to use Oga in a sentence, we could say Oga Timbo. That is, the boss is coming. Oga Timbo or Oga Tide, the boss has come. Oga Timbo, the boss is coming. So everybody get on your best behavior. I hope you're on your best behavior whether or not your boss is looking, right? And so if it is written this way, it is Oga, chameleon. If we were to use a chameleon in a sentence, we could say Mori Oga lenikule. And Ikule means the back of a house. And this is something that we talked about. There's a proverb that kind of uses this. And Ikule lotawa. Do you know that Proverbs? By the way, we do have a book on Yoruba Proverbs. If you wanted to check that out, it will be linked in the description. So, Mori Oga Lenikule, I saw a chameleon at the back of the house, at the backyard. So when somebody says Mori, they're not talking about your boss. They're saying there's a chameleon at the back of the house. So don't panic. Your boss is not behind your house. It's the chameleon. Okay. And if we were to use both of them in a sentence, and then it could go something like Ogagbe Ogawa Lati Abule. Ogagbe Ogawa Lati Abule. That is, the boss brought in a chameleon from the village, right? So he sees a chameleon. It's not one that we see every day. And then he brings it to the city and maybe brings it to the office. The chances are ridiculously low, but just saying as an example. Ogagbe Ogawa Lati Abule. Have you seen a chameleon before? Let me know in the comments. So that's what we have on today's episode of Oyato. Now you see that these words All of these words only share the same letters, but they sound different and they mean completely different. If you'd like to learn more about the Yoruba language, learning how to speak and understand the language, we do have a course teaching you how. It will be linked in the description and would love to have you in class. At Rootstump, we're all about celebrating the Yoruba language and the culture and connecting you to your Yoruba roots. Before you leave, be sure to check out our channels for different resources that you will find entertaining and educating at the same time. Omalega Abisola, Odabo. Oyato, Oyato.